Well, good evening. Tonight we're talking about enhancing our business skills. We'll talk right much about negotiating, forecasting, and bookkeeping. We are sponsored tonight by the Small Business Center at Sampson Community College, and Bart Rice, our director, is with us at this time. So, Bart, how about giving us a few words of wisdom?
Yes, I just want to say I appreciate everybody joining in tonight. And I see that a lot of you aren't from Sampson County, but that's okay. There's a small business center wherever you are in the state of North Carolina. So you can always reach out to them if you need help. And I hope everybody's looking forward to learning about bookkeeping, forecasting, and negotiating.
We'll sure get into it, no doubt about that.
Well, I hope you have a good session and enjoy it.
All right, thank you so much. Well, again, welcome everyone. Got a good crowd, got several new folks with us, and we're glad to have you. Sandra, let me say hello to you. I think I recognize that email address, though, so maybe you have visited with us before. Do you have your mic on, Sandra?
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm happy to hear your voice.
Yeah, it's good to have you with us. Where are you located?
Brunswick County, over here by the state line.
Very good. Well, good. Thanks for joining in. So we're going to be talking about bookkeeping, forecasting, and negotiating, building our business as we go forward. I'm Steve Carver from Dunn, North Carolina. This is my presentation number 1257. Thank you for joining us. You're welcome always to contact me. The best way is through email. Email addresses are on your screen. stvcarv@aol.com is the one I use the most, and you're welcome to contact me with any way in the world I can help you. I'll be glad to have you come on board. I'm not a lawyer or an accountant, just a fellow that's been in business a long time. Look forward to offering free advice to you, and always the first advice is get a second opinion before you go out and make a big decision that you're not quite sure of. There are people willing to help you, and you can find the best advice in the whole state at your small business centers and located at the community college near you. Tonight, as Bart was just welcoming us, he's in Sampson County at Sampson Community College over in Clinton. Looks forward to working with everyone, so give Bart a call, set up an appointment, and we can all go from there. It's free and it's confidential. And tonight we're talking about the enhancing skills. Next week we'll continue that process with our last regular class. Next week we'll be talking about taxes, record keeping, audits, and some selling secrets, plus doing a review on our course that we've done for the last few weeks, and move forward on from there. And then on May the 14th, 2 weeks away from today, we'll be having a in-person event downtown Clinton. It's at the Sampson Partners building. I'll be sending you maps and pictures and invitations to join us, and I will be asking for an RSVP. You will be welcome to attend, and we'll have some refreshment for you, some pickup food. Sarita Sampson's going to help me set up, and Bart's going to be there with us to meet and greet, meet everybody in person, and I do really hope that y'all will be able to come. I know it's maybe a drive that you may not be able to make, but if you can, I'll promise you we'll start on time, and I'll get you out of there by 8 o'clock, so you'll be able to get back home at a reasonable time. So we look forward to that, and it's been a good event. We've done this for several years and really look forward to it. Tonight's lesson is supported with 10 study guides that have been emailed to you if you registered in advance. And if not, and I have your email address, I'll send them to you tomorrow by email, the study guides, as well as a recording of our lesson that we've got tonight. So included in your items coming to you tonight is a quiz, and in this class to get your advancement in the academy and your academy membership, you will need to complete the quiz and send it back to me, and I'll look forward to getting that. Lots of good information there, so please look through them. I suggest that you save the study guides that I send to you in the courses. Put them in a special file so you can refer back to them at a later time. I am keeping up with attendance, and we've got just a great group with us tonight. I already see that with tonight's attendance, and a lot of you have already are qualifying for your certificates, and I certainly do appreciate that. Sarita and I get to working on them right away, so we'll have them ready for you. So thank you for that good attendance. We look forward to sending you a real nice certificate. Now, this program is all about you guys. It's not about Bart, and it's not about me. It's not about Samson Community College. It's about you and helping you get your business started. And as individuals, and we certainly like to recognize the progress that y'all are making. Sarita's been with us now. She's a Master 14 associate member, having attended a lot of classes along the way and increasing her skills as she goes. She is a virtual assistant. She helps a lot of folks that are the class members that come in. Sonia Roberts is our favorite female roofing contractor in Charlotte, North Carolina. Works real hard every day, and so thankful for her regular attendance. L.T. Wright, a brand new licensed massage therapist over in the Durham area. And there's Kia in Kenansville in the Clinton area with her K&S cleaning business. Really been working hard, putting a lot of good information out. And Kia, we hope that you're getting some good responses to the marketing that you're doing. New to the Academy is Amber Sampson, just starting her own business soon and getting ready, and we're certainly looking forward to meeting Amber and helping her get her business started when she's out on her own. Sherry McQuarrie and Charlotte, a new author, coming out with a new book soon, very loyal member. And there's David Mays. David, thank you for your attendance and for your hard work getting your new business started. And David and I were talking before we got started tonight about he's actually got some business coming in now, so hopefully the cash flow will start working. And so congratulations, David. Keep up the good work, and we're looking forward to helping you. Edna Jackson in Tarboro, regular member, Master 5 associate. Glad always to have Edna with us. And here's Christina in Clinton. Christy's pet sitting service. She's doing a lot of work marketing her new business. And if you're in the Clinton area, Christina's ready to help you when you want to leave home and have somebody house sit for you, pet sit for you, and look after your animals and look after your plants or whatever needs to be done. So remember, Christine is there and ready to help you. Check her out on our Facebook page for lots of good information. Veronica Butler in Hope Mills, North Carolina is wide open, working real hard to get her home health care business up and running, starting to interview clients and employees now. So thank you, Veronica, for your great work. Been a very, very active member, done all of her homework assignments, and I just keeps on pushing, been in touch with everybody. So thank you so much, Veronica. Dr. Lenora Austin bringing her Fairy Land mini farm from Atlanta when she comes up this way to Roanoke Rapids. I'm really looking forward to hearing more from her and helping her get that farm started. Our favorite lady in the Army is Chessa Freeman, a very loyal member of the Academy and attends all of our sessions as she can. Thank you for your service, Chessa. Look forward to working with you. And there's Shannon. Good to see you. Good to see that great photo of you and the work that you've got started. Shannon's been working now to revitalize his business after an illness and had to kind of put it in slow motion for a year or two, but now he's working to get it back up and running at his own pace and making it work just right. So thank you, Shannon. I've enjoyed working with you and appreciate that you've been visiting the Small Business Center as well. Jennifer, a big hand to you. Great work teaching us all how to do better marketing. We've been watching you on your Facebook promotions every day. Something new coming out. We're all learning from you, and we appreciate you so much and hope it's working out well. Dr. Mary Young, the same thing, brand new presentations, new website, new video presentations. Mary's been with us at the Academy for a number of years, but just now is really starting now to promote her work with her new website, and we're looking forward to helping you all that we can. So glad to have you with us tonight. And it's Dr. Mary, and we certainly appreciate you. Justin, you've been quite amazing. I'm just so proud of you, the work you're doing, the way you jumped into and got real interested in promotions and what we're offering for advice here. So thank you so much. I'm going to ask you to say a word here in just a minute so you get your thoughts together. Justin's over in Rose Hill, got his cleaning business up and running. I think he told me he'd been at it for maybe a year, maybe 2 years, but now I'm just promoting the heck out of it. I love what you're doing. Last few weeks, he showed us his new QR code. It actually used it over in the chat board. So we encourage any of you and all of you to put any images that you like over in your chat board to make it go forward. Just as I was impressed with your before and after pictures showing how good you guys can clean and leave a site. And then yesterday, yes, I did notice yesterday, Justin took one of our lessons right out of the book and put it on Facebook with a fantastic promotion. If you'll let me, Joe, I'm going to use it for a teaching tool. Notice that, number one, he's got a lot of personality in an ad. And that's what I want to preach to you. You can have an ad, and then you can have one that really talks to your customers. Justin's got a lot of good information here, calling this a special. This is not a take it or leave it. This is the opposite of take it or leave it. And that he's letting the customers know, hey, let's talk about this, because he's offering a 10% discount for seniors. He's got a start date and a valid date on it, which that is a perfect hook. It encourages people to let's do business now, because there's no someone that calls Justin and they'll say, look here, Justin, I'm not an old age senior, but I'm a senior in college. What, can I get my discount? Or I'm a senior in high school, or I'm a senior here, I've got a son that's a junior, so that's make me a senior. There's a lot of reasons people can ask you for that 10% discount. And by golly, that's what it's all about. You want to create the conversation to get a relationship started. So I'm sure that everyone that can qualify as any type of junior, that Justin, you're going to be looking forward to talking to them. So congratulations on this great ad. I appreciate that. He qualifies himself also with making sure folks know that he's licensed and budgeted. This is almost a perfect seasonal ad, because it touches all the bases, and I'll probably use this ad in a lot of classes for years to come. So thanks for doing that. And then the biggest congratulations for all, while he didn't really want to do it, he did a personal video, and so proud of you for doing it. I'm not proud of you for starting out by making an apology. By golly, you'll get better at it. But number one, you did get out there and got started, and that's why, number one, I'm so happy that you did. So, Justin, tell us about this ad, and is there a chance you've gotten a phone call or two related to it?
Yes, I've actually had 6 people reach out since the post, and
wow,
2 followers. I want to thank everybody for sharing and liking it.
You're very welcome. So, did you do this yourself, or did you have some assistance with it?
I used AI, but I wrote everything down what I wanted into the post.
So you listed down the ingredients and gave it to AI, and they designed the ad for you?
Yes, sir. I actually been doing this. I just wasn't advertising it. Now I'm making it official.
Very good. So which type of AI are you using?
Chat GPT.
How about that? And was there a fee for that? Did it cost you some money?
I think I paid $20 a month. It was 16. I think it went up to 20 now.
So you're paying a monthly subscription instead of a by the job price?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, all right. That is fantastic. Big hand from old Steve-O. Everybody else give Dustin a hand for encouraging also. I hope it works for you and hope you make a lot of money with this. So thanks a lot for sharing it and letting us use it as a teaching tool.
Thank you so much.
All right, this is all about you guys. There should be no doubt about it in all my classes and with Bart, as we're doing these courses. If you've got something you want us to focus on or to help you with, it's up to you to let us know, and we'll change our program to suit your needs. All right, we've been talking about The Godfather, and this isn't personal, it's business. not. It is personal, isn't it? It is with me anyway. Yeah, it is business too, but by golly, it's about as personal as it can get with old Steve-O. But there are some pitfalls, and we need to avoid them. Yes, we want to really get involved in our business, and you know I'm motivating you to hang in there and having the endurance and having the guts to hang in there, and all that's personal stuff. But also we got to be careful not to let our business attitude get in the way of our humanity and our absolute commitment to make decisions based on good ethics and caring about other people. Yes, this isn't personal, it's business, but yes, it is personal from time to time too. The two biggest pitfalls, in my opinion, that get in the way are ego, because sometimes our ego can just make us make decisions to protect our ego, to protect our reputation, to do this and that, and to say this isn't personal, I'm doing this because of this and that, but that's BS. We're making the decisions the wrong way if we're doing it just to protect our own personal ego instead of making them for the best reasons and understanding there is emotional consequences. The other risk that you take is getting involved in the trap of apathy, and the pitfall there is that if we're always saying strictly business, then maybe we're forgetting about the human element that's involved with the people that we're dealing with, not only the customers, but also with our employees. So always keep the human element involved. When you don't do that, you have an erosion of trust. And when that happens, bad things start happening across the board, and you can't do anything about it because you can't hold on to your people and you can't hold on to your customers. You will have higher turnover, not only with customers and employees, and you just have kind of a toxic environment that you're working in. So people need to be personal if you want other folks to buy into your dreams and care about your growth, because that will not happen if we're not inspiring others to come on board with us. We just cannot do this thing by ourselves. How do we go about it? Listen better. Listen with intent, listening to what people are saying. Remember that the only way we really grow in our minds is when we are able to add different ways of thinking and understanding people's reasons that they have a different point of view. It's perfectly natural for folks to have a different point of view. That don't mean that they're against you, but it does give you the opportunity to try to understand where they're coming from. And when you make that effort, then you're increasing your savvy, you're increasing your wisdom, and that's what we need to do. So next time we talk, we'll be talking about finding a balance in all this, and that next week we'll wrap up it's not business, it's not personal, it's just business talk. So as you see, I don't keep right on being assertive. I don't keep right on trying to motivate myself and you guys as well. And forgive me if I'm stepping on your toes. I'm not trying to do that. Just trying to help you go to that next step. All right, we're going to wrap up our 40 drill skills tonight. You've got a study guide with them each week. I've had Mary did do the accepted the challenge and rewrote them in her own words, how each study guide, each one of the drill skills would affect her and her business. Thank you, Mary. That was a job well done, and I certainly hope that it helps you in your confidence as you move forward. Number 25, nonverbal communications sometimes will tell you more than what people say in their words. I want you to understand that and realize that. We're going to talk about this more tonight because they're just so important. The listening skills, the gestures that people use, and when we learn to recognize that from the people that we're speaking with, we become a lot better negotiator and a lot better listener. And then when we start practicing using nonverbal communications in our presentation, it changes the whole picture and the effectiveness of your presentation. So keep that in mind. I did notice that with a couple of you, Mary, I'm noticing with you, that is you're doing a good job with gestures and head nodding and kind of getting involved. Just talking doesn't make it as you're doing the videos, but you put yourself into it, let people see you. So Justin, I'm really looking forward to your new videos as you're coming forward with them, showing that great personality. You got a great voice for it, and so go ahead and put that to work, and let's use those skills to go forward. What motivates other people? So you're sitting around thinking about why in the world aren't people doing this and why didn't they do that? Maybe it's because you were not assertive. Maybe it was because you just didn't give it the extra oomph to make it happen. Just like Justin put all that information into that one ad. When we're doing a presentation, we need to put more than just the selling point in it. We need to put ourselves into it and give people the reasons to be motivated, and that is part of your business skill, to be assertive when you need to. Being assertive is not a negative unless you take it to the point of being a bully or pushy, and then that is a negative because you turn people off. But they want to see that energy from you. They want to do business with people that is willing to help them help themselves, and willing to take that step to do that. So be an assertive person. Next week, as we're wrapping up, I'll be using two words that are kind of important: tax avoidance and tax evasion. When we're talking about taxes to small business operators, I want to tell you that you better learn how to do tax avoidance. It is a skill. It's an art form almost, because if you don't run your business in such a way to avoid paying taxes you don't have to pay, then most of your profits can be eaten up by paying for taxes that maybe you didn't have to pay. So the ways that you do your books, the way you purchase, whether or not you rent, lease, or purchase, how much depreciation you plan for, all those are tax avoidance skills. And we'll talk about those next week, and I want you to know that. But then there's tax evasion, and that's just when you're outright lying and misrepresenting stuff. And that is against the law. And these laws are enforced, and indeed they can get you in big trouble. But I don't want us to be afraid to talk about tax avoidance because tax evasion may creep into the conversation. No, don't worry about that, because you must consider your options when you're doing your bookkeeping and you're buying and you're selling to avoid paying taxes that you don't have to pay. So we'll keep that in mind even as we talk about bookkeeping tonight. Let's get it real clear here. I told you in week 1 and week 2 and pretty much every time that you got to be tough, because we're going to get knocked down a lot. I consider this taking it personal when someone don't give me an order, or I miss a deal, or somebody didn't go along with my idea. I feel like I've been knocked down. I do take it personal, no doubt, but I try to get over it real quick and get back up and get back into the business game. So we have to keep getting back up. Not only get up, but get up with a smile on your face. Get up and ready to go again. Very thankful to have the opportunity and the energy and the good health stability to get up and keep on pushing forward. Maybe saying a little prayer as we go each time to help me keep me in this, Lord. I'm in this game, and I need to keep getting up. I don't want to get mad at these people. It's not personal, it's just business, Jesus. Good gracious, help me get past this thing. And maybe find that attitude, and He'll help you along. And you need to have that. If you start getting down, then we're getting over into that pitfall that we get into, and just taking it too personal. You've got to keep getting back up, because, as we said earlier, when you're starting out, usually with a new customer that you're going to do any real business with that adds up to some real money, you're going to need to talk to them 9 times, have 9 different conversations, or they're going to check you out 9 different ways on and back and forth before you can actually close a deal. And that means you've got 8 times you're getting knocked down before that 9th time that you might start creating a customer. And the rest of the story is, even after 9 times, maybe you don't get the deal. But here's the golden egg. Maybe you've created a relationship they like you, they will recommend you to somebody else. They will come back to see you. Maybe they're just not ready to do business right now. So we just have to keep coming back. And when you do that, you got a chance to create long-term relationships. Always we're going to consider, is our legacy as a business person going to be that of a taker or a giver? And if you're associated with the academy and your association with the goals that I try to put forward, we're all about mutual helpfulness. And mutual helpfulness is going to make you a giver. We're other people, and we certainly do that. So keep that in mind, and we'll talk about that a lot in our Monday night sessions. We're going to actually do a whole program on building a legacy. I think that's in about 2 or 3 weeks. You might want to join on that as well. When you're being the best person you can be, that means you're helping others. So be willing to help. Every day you'll have an opportunity to say to someone, well, my answer is this, and it could be an answer where you just say, I'm not interested in pursuing this, go somewhere else with your problem or your issues. Or you don't have the opportunity to say, well, let me consider that. Tell me more about it. Let me see if there's some way I can help you. Those sentences, let me see if there's some way I can help you, go a long, long way to setting the stage for future business and for relationship. And it sends a message to anyone that you're talking to that you're a giver. So get used to saying, even if you're not ready to do business with someone, maybe you can give them some advice and say, I hope this helps. You know, it will really do that. So let your light shine. Back in week 4, we talked about marketing and the magic marketing moment. We got to keep remembering this. What is that magic marketing moment? That's when you have the opportunity to say to the customer, now you remember, I promised I was going to do all I could to see you're 100% satisfied, and I want to do that. And that customer remembers that you're still talking about and you're still mentioning the 100% satisfaction, because that's when you have the opportunity to say, now tell me what it is you're thinking about buying next. Or do you know someone that you could give me a referral that maybe I could do some business? Or what products or what services might I add to make my business better? That is the magic marketing moment. And when you take that information and include it in your marketing plan, you will know what's next. And knowing what's next is saying, I don't have a marketing plan that's going to put me in a position to keep doing business, to keep the ball rolling. That is the golden goose plan. And indeed, it will indeed help you see through in tough times as well as good times. But you have to exercise the magic marketing moment. You have to get in the habit of talking to the customers and getting the feedback. And we talked about that feedback earlier, right? You got to have that good listening skills and good communication skills to get the feedback to help boost your business and position yourself for the business that's coming around the corner. That's the key in having a feeling of confidence that my business is growing and going and making it better. That's the reason that Justin is working so hard in his promotions to keep these contacts coming in. Keep it going, because somebody may not be ready to do business with you today, but in a month or two, or maybe even tomorrow, we don't know what our tomorrows hold. By being out there and being interested in what's going on with other people, make a world of difference. Veronica, I've been thinking of you and your work and what you're getting started, and I'm praying that things really work out for you, because I know that this factor is you got to be out here a while before a lot of these contacts you're making, actually their circumstances in their family life or in their personal lives may not be ready for your services now. But down the road, they're going to be looking for someone to help them, and they're going to remember the people that were offering to help them and had a listening attitude. So you're planting seeds for the future now. And you just can't give up on that. You got to know that especially with some businesses, and you're the best example, the conversation you have with someone today may not bring fruit for a couple of years. It's just that. So endurance is a big word. I'm going to heap on your plate, give you a double helping of endurance to see you through, because I know it's a slow process. And finding the people, linking the customer with the employee that you need to find, big challenges. But that's why you need the magic marketing moments as much as anyone else does. So keep doing the videos. The videos will turn your business around and head it straight up, more so than anything else. It's just going to be a real powerful tool for you. But I'll say to Justin and to Shannon and maybe other folks that hadn't been comfortable with doing personal videos before, get over it. It's a big deal. And if you want to see someone that's doing it just right, then you visit Mary Young's websites and just see how effective videos can be. Visit Veronica's website, see her videos, and pattern some of your work after what they're doing, and it will make a difference for you. I feel comfortable promising you, and I'm not much for making promises I can't fulfill, but I just feel 99.9% sure that if you get the right videos out there and you find those people that are looking for a transparency in a contractor, then you're going to do real well with them. But what's the truth that nobody can deny is if you can't win a ball game sitting up in the stands. We can cheer, and we can holler, and we can eat popcorn, and we can rattle and do this and that. But it's the players that are down on the field that are in the game. So if you're thinking about getting into business, but just thinking about it, it's time maybe you get in the game. And I've seen so many of y'all just in these last few weeks, what seems like to me, that maybe you had been kind of a spectator before, but you've decided to jump in here, maybe because of something that I've said, but I think mainly because you know you've got the moral support of the whole class here. People that have been in a lot of classes before, we're all pulling for you and pulling for each other. So hang in there. I know things can be tough some days, but know that millions and millions of people have been down the same road that you're on, and you find a way to do it. You're looking at an old curmudgeon right here that's been out here fighting in these ditches for a long time. I know what trench warfare is in business. I've been there and I've survived it. And the things that helped me survive it is what I'm sharing with you. So get in the game, get dirty, get down and dirty. Let's make some deals. Let's make some money. It's time to start now. We're getting close to the end of this course. So get into Facebook. Do your YouTube videos. Do your testimonials. Send me those mission, vision, and promise statements if you hadn't done it. Most of you have done them, so keep them coming in. This isn't for me. Well, it does make me feel good. I get a lot of gratification when I see your mission, vision, and promise statements come in. But I know that it makes a difference for you because you are finally putting your thoughts and making promises to yourself in writing, and also showing those promises to your customers. Take the photos, get them out here. Put some lettering on your vehicles. It's a traveling billboard when you talk about your business on your car. Put some magnetic signs on the trunk and the doors. You will be amazed that people will come up to you and start talking business when they see those. YouTube is important. Have you done your business cards? I hadn't seen a lot of them from you. I have seen a few of them. Especially appreciate you sending them to me, and I've posted them up here. But if you don't have a business card yet, how in the world are you going to walk up to someone, introduce yourself, and look serious about doing business if you can't do that? So do your Facebook. Let's get involved with each other, sharing and liking with each other. Do some testimonial statements about other people, other classmates here. If you like these classes, if you like this course, if you like the Small Business Center, how about a little testimonial here? How about patting us on the back a little bit so we can share them and encourage other people to come? That's what you do. And when you do that for other people, then they're going to be willing to do it for you. It's a mutual gratification situation. So if you expect folks to help you with testimonials and good words and reviews, then you have to learn to do those for other people. It's a two-way street. Let's get into the skills a little bit. Bookkeeping, plain talk. you want to remember in the simplest of terms, the business income and expense models in your business plan that we did. Remember those, the models, the different line items in the budget. Then as you're bookkeeping, you'll use those individual line items as a part of your chart of accounts. And when you have your bookkeeping statement and your financial statement and your budget, all with the common account numbers and descriptions, it makes it real easy to match up everything, because the bottom line, they're all going to be representing each other in a package of three, so to speak, when you do your work. It just really helps out. So remember, we talked about connecting the dots in a circle. All this right now, I'm showing you how the dots are going to be connected, because the budget plan and the business plan, all those different items that you itemize, now we're going to see them show up in your chart of accounts in your bookkeeping plan. I want you to determine the actual profit margin that's being delivered by the individual profit centers. What kind of money are the individual things you're doing creating for you? At the end of the day, you're going to need X amount of cash to pay your bills. And you want to know the work that you're putting into it, what is producing the amount of cash that you need to stay on plan. Not just do things because it was part of what you had planned to do, but sometimes you're going to do things because this needs more attention, because it's bringing me more cash flow and more money. Every line item in the monthly report, every line item in your budget, in your business plan, that is now going to be transferred over to your bookkeeping system is important. And it's so easy to get involved in the electronics in today's world, in the software, that we see a line item, we see the name of it, but we really don't know where this is coming from, how it fits. And I don't want you to feel like you need to become an expert and memorize all this stuff, but I want you to have a good general working knowledge about what this line means, and when I change this line up here, how's that one going to be effective? You need to have a good enough understanding of bookkeeping to be able to analyze that. And forecasting, plain talk. Forecasting means you got to be savvy. You can't be asleep at the wheel. If you're asleep at the wheel, you have head-on collisions, right? You run into the ditch. People get killed. Businesses die. So forecasting is the way that you stay alive, you stay alert, and I like to use the term, keep your radar on. Keep your radar on. We don't need to be flying blind here. We need to have our radar on, which means having awareness of what's happening around us, and to keep doing that. Sometimes we can get so focused, and I'm my worst enemy on this. Sometimes I can get so focused on what is in front of me that I'm letting all this other stuff that's going around not have any attention. And that's a mistake. Sometimes you got to get your head up out of the soup bowl and see what's going on in the kitchen. So keep that in mind. And forecasting, that's about as simple as it can get. We got to remember that every action has a reaction. So as we get really excited about moving our businesses forward and doing this and jumping out here and getting this new profit center or making this investment or putting aside some money over here, everything we do, every energy that goes one way, there's a reaction going the other way. Old timers call that the two-edged sword. Remember? Or you painting with a broad brush. There's a lot of sayings you can go along with it, but as your business coach, you just got to say, yeah, it's great, and it's a must that you're willing to be savvy and be willing to be agile and make changes and move forward, make those decisions to move forward. But as you do it, keep in mind that I need to act like that old fellow that used to talk to me on the business courses. That old fellow said, yeah, go ahead and make these moves, but also be aware of what is the reaction to this action you're getting ready to take. Which sometimes means before you leap, take a deep breath and think about it, okay? Be aware of that. And that's part of forecasting, is forecasting what's going to happen if you do this or that. So that brings us up to talking about risk. What's going to happen if you do this or that? There's always a risk involved in business. But that doesn't need to scare you away from doing business. Yeah, there's risk involved. We're adults. We know that there is. But let's take it to the next step in being savvy here. And this is what a business coach wants to share with you. Know that the risks are here and make sure you've got your risk management plan in place. Because there's a lot of things that can go wrong in each of our individual businesses. Now, Justin gave us a good example tonight. He is insured and bonded. He's got at least that risk management tool in place, and that's exactly what that is. So if something goes wrong, he's got some protection there for himself and for his potential customers. And the ways that we have risk management go a long way, and we'll talk about those more tonight. Forecasting, it's easy to get lost in the shuffle, and all the hundreds of things I talked about in this course, it's easy for us to forget some of the main things. So that's why I've got this here in the plain talk. Seasonal marketing cannot be forgotten. You can't afford to let it, that's a risk, letting it fall through the crack, because seasonal marketing is real. Justin giving us another example with this big ad, this opportunity he's making. That is seasonal marketing. He's got dates, start dates, finish dates, because people right now, the pollen has come and the dust has come and the wind is blowing and the springtime's getting ready to pop. Seasonal marketing is here, springtime. Be aware of that. And then depending on what your business is, it may be time for you to come forward with a special targeted advertising campaign for seasonal marketing. You can't forget that. The rest of the story is we got seasons, 12 months a year. There's something special going on every month. Make that a part of your marketing planning. Forecasting seasonal marketing now. So here it is, May 1st tomorrow, right? Brand new month, a brand new season cranking up, and by golly, we are into it. And you know what? We should have been planning our May 1st marketing in January. So yeah, May 1st is here now, and it's important, but it needs to remind us, start thinking about marketing for Memorial Day, May 30th. Start thinking about marketing for July the 4th. Start thinking about marketing for Labor Day, and on and on and on. Have those in mind so that when the seasonal dates get here, when the holidays get here, you have already got your stuff ready. You've fit it out a few days or a few weeks in advance, so you're going to be on the front of the wave. Yeah, it's like people talking about surfing. You want to hang 10 on the front of the wave, right? So you're ahead of the game. You get that business as it comes. That's plain talk, and that's what forecasting is about. Now, negotiating, so important. Negotiating means that you can probably buy items, purchase items for 5 to 15% less money by negotiating if you will take the time to exercise your skills. And sometimes it's just making one or two little statements, one or two little offers. Learning to negotiate can help you save a lot of money on everything you buy. And on the selling side, knowing how to negotiate and plain talking may indeed help you set your prices higher and negotiate and end up making 15 to 25 to 30% more money on the other end. And if you take those two factors together, just by knowing and using negotiating skills and doing nothing else different may make a difference in 25 to 40% difference in your profit margins at the end of the year. So it is worth listening to. It is being prepared for. It is worth putting it into place. Negotiating is important. And a lot of others just say, I don't know about that. Well, I tell you what, it's time that you do know about it, because every week, every single month, you'll be able to look back and say, old Steve-O told me about this, and I didn't realize I could end up making so much money, but it's $5 here, $100 there, $1,000 over there, week after week, month after month, year after year, and that adds up to hundreds of thousands of dollars just by having the habit of exercising your negotiating skills. One of the best, the three things I want to nail down now before we dive deeper into it is always ask when you're buying something, is this your best price? Don't be ashamed to ask someone, is this your best price? I know you can come down better. Surely you've got it marked up to give me a little negotiating room here. Use that term. It won't cost you a penny, and it will make you look like you're more a competent business person. So there's no reason not to do it. But anytime that you're negotiating with someone, I don't care who it is or what it's for, from buying an apple at the store to paying for somebody's funeral at the funeral home, I say, now, is this your best price? Surely you're not. You've got some markup here that you can give me a little break here. I mean, I can't afford to finance a six-pack. Let's pay this high prices that you're asking for. Be willing to bargain. It's up to you. It isn't up to anyone else. And I've already told you, as you're setting your prices, you need to leave room to negotiate. And if that customer comes along and just wants to pay you that high price without negotiating, that's good. But you're ready to get a little discount if they want to negotiate to hold on to them. So keep that in mind. Say, look here, I can offer seniors 10%. Do what you need to do to get people to talk to you. And keep them talking. And the way you keep the customer talking in order to find common ground with them is the no and on, yes, if, and no, but negotiating skills. That's the way you keep the conversation going on. We'll dive into that a little later. Keep them talking about it. And lastly, the thing I want to nail down the most in plain talk is raise your prices high enough to leave some negotiating room. Entrepreneurs just getting started will most oftentimes price their items too low to give the cheap effect, thinking that because you're a new business and you're a small business, you need to be cheaper than anybody else. Well, if your price is sending out the message, this is the cheapest deal in town, then there's also a message that goes along with that, and it's the lowest quality. It's the reason I should not buy from you because it's made in China instead of made in Italy or in the USA. It's so darn cheap, there's got to be something wrong with it. See my logic? It's better to have a higher price and negotiate from there. So just make that a rule of thumb. Don't be the cheapest guy in town. Be the one that's advertising the best product and the best value, and then you move forward from there. So that was the plain talk. Now let's dive deeper. What is a bookkeeper? Well, in business, we need someone that's going to help us know if we're making money or not. And we don't need to wait till the end of the year to have the accountant tell us. So that's what bookkeepers do. They look at it on a daily basis when the accountants look at the long term, the big picture, what's happening at the end of the year. Long-term issues are what accountants do. But bookkeepers look at what's happening every day, one day at a time, one invoice at a time. That's the difference in the two. Now, you might be dealing with someone that's a bookkeeper and an accountant, like I do in my business. My virtual assistants are a bookkeeper and accountant. But the functions are altogether different. Bookkeepers have a certain roles that they play, and then from those roles, the accountant takes that information and does their thing. But tonight we're focusing on the bookkeeper's role because that's what I want you as a business owner to focus on now. Why do we do this? Why am I doing this? Because I'm not going to teach you how to do bookkeeping. I'm not qualified for that. I don't know all the softwares that are available or the ands, if, and buts. But I do know this. Business owners, especially new entrepreneurs, usually just have a bookkeeper or bookkeeping system so they'll know what reports have to be sent in each month and what taxes have to be paid. But I'm telling you, away from that, we'll talk about those taxes next week and the reports and the paperwork. But tonight, it's the understanding of where you're making money. I want us to be able to take that budget and that business plan and understand how I can go into those two factors through my bookkeeper and see where I'm making or where I'm losing money. And that's the importance of this lesson tonight, is how to do that. So the bookkeeper, what are they doing? They're looking at all your transactions, posting credits and debits. What is a credit? That's money coming in. What is a debit? That's money going out. What is a credit? That's black ink. What is a debit? That's red ink. Bookkeepers are in a lot of business produce all the invoices, maybe by hand or maybe through their software. At any rate, what is an invoice? An invoice is a document that if it's coming into you, it's coming from someone that you owe money to. But if you're sending out invoices, and you will be, that is when you're billing, you're telling your customer how much money they need to pay you. And when they pay you, this is the record where you record it into your business. And that becomes accountable then. That word accountable, right? Like accountant. So the bookkeepers do this by maintaining ledgers, either in paper or on software, and a lot of them on both. And also bookkeepers oftentimes do payroll services. Used to, they did all the payroll services. Bookkeepers would do that. Now there's a lot of virtual contractors that will help small businesses with their payroll records through the internet, or serving you as contractors. That's becoming more and more popular. And as businesses grow and you bring on a large number of employees, that may be the way that you would want to go. But the bottom line with a bookkeeper can be summarized as saying there's a simple cycle of accounting. And the bookkeeper does this every day. And if you're looking at your screen now, you're looking at a chart that has a big circle on it. And the circle's going round and round in a clockwise motion, but it starts up there with number 1, where it says transaction. That's saying this is the starting point. So if you're taking notes, I want you to put a 0 right under that number 1. And just to the right-hand side of it, put another 0. Because the bookkeeper's job is to go from 0 all the way around and end up with 0. After adding in all the invoices that day, we'll take them apart and put them back together to understand what the pieces are, where that money came from or where that money went in the different pieces, and then put them back together and see if they add up to a total. If they all add up to a total, then that's a complete financial statement. But if they don't, we're going to have to find out why and understand it. So how does that process work? We take the invoice. We're going to deal with one invoice at a time, whether it's one invoice for the day's work or 100 invoices for a day's work. In my businesses, we had a large farm equipment dealership. In the parts business, during harvest season and tillage season, we might have 50 to 200 invoices a day. And our bookkeeper's job was, if they had to come in early and stay late, but they would finish up the day's work before they left. And indeed, that was an important goal that we had. And as the owner of the business, I had to make sure that I was willing to pay them that time and give them the time to get it done. I don't like to procrastinate on any type of bookkeeping. I think it's important that you stay on top of it. So they would take the invoice, we go around, we break it apart with the journal entries, we do the posting, that is when you actually write it into your system. We see how they add up here and there. Does everything add up the way it's supposed to? There'd be a worksheet that we could make notes on. We had to make adjustments that would keep a record of that. And then once we had everything adjusted out, everything balancing, we call that a financial statement. And then we closed the books when everything did balance out and have a report to the owner. Financial statement, there is kind of a misleading there. It's not a real accountant's financial statement. It's just saying that the invoice balanced and the day's work's balanced, and therefore that piece of paper is a completed financial statement. So we worked all the way around through that, and the main tool in a bookkeeping system, whether it's done by paper or done by computer, is what's called the chart of accounts. And I mentioned that earlier, the chart of accounts. And the chart of accounts are the different ways that money comes in, the different ways that money goes out, and then all the other stuff that's left. So assets, money coming in, is generally done, that's your black ink again, it's generally done with brand new companies. We call those our 100 series. We number, the chart of accounts are numbers. So different profit centers or expense centers would have a number. Usually your 100 series are your money coming in. The money going out, or the red ink, is usually your 200 series accounts, and all the others might have 300 or other numbers. All the others are the things like dividends or special situations, special things you're doing in your business that are done in every business that have a different chart of accounts with different things that the owners want to do about it. So that's the key there, your chart of accounts. And remember, if you can keep your chart of accounts married up to your budget and your business plan with the same numbers, it's going to be real easy to use them as tools that work together and reflect what's going on in the business, showing you what your profit centers are doing, which are doing well, which you're losing money at, which you could be concerned about, if everything is matched up and easy to do. I suggest that you name them in ways that through the years you'll be able to see that number, see that name of that account, and feel good about knowing what it's all about. And so this is starting, and then before your first year is over, you will be adding different accounts every month, especially as you first start getting growing, because you're going to want good information. And that's perfectly fine. There's no reason that you need to limit the number of accounts in your chart of accounts. So this is a copy of my company last year, or at the beginning of this year, the different account numbers that we have. And we started out with the 100s and the 200s and the 300s, but now I'm up to accounts with numbers of 49,000. But that's what happens when you're in business 60 years. You make a lot of changes as you go along. But I've got all these accounts. I use these every time I write checks or pay bills or send out invoices. We have a chart of accounts for income, a chart of accounts for expenses, and you all do the same thing. Notice everything from the exterminator to some of our virtual assistants to parts, utilities, just all the way down the line. Any way that you're spending money, we certainly are doing that. So yours are the way yours look, no doubt. So, the account numbers, your chart of accounts are your number one tool. Number two tool are the actual journals. The journals are pieces of paper or they're pages on your computer screen if you use the software. A lot of bookkeepers, a lot of accounting folks will do both. They keep up with their paperwork, but they also do a lot of work on the computer screen for saving files. So here's a real sample sales journal, chart of accounts that it looks like a little building supply company might have used, and indeed they have got everything listed. Now notice over here that this is a list of invoices. Rule number one, invoices need to have a date on them, and invoices need to have an invoice number. The date and the number can be the same. However, I suggest you have two of each. You want to keep up with your numbers and your dates so that your invoices will always be in numerical order as well as in chronological order. Why? Because you will always and constantly be having to go back and look at old invoices for a million different reasons. And I don't need to go through all the reasons, but customers are always asking you for information, or you, for whatever reason, you need to go back and look at information because we can't remember stuff very easily. And indeed, you might be doing this on your computer, or indeed, you may be going to your filing cabinets, which you're going to need some of those, and actually looking at the paper invoices and responses to it. So that's the way it is. Notice that over here, we've got these invoices in chronological order, 1561. And also starting in March and going through March 29. And over here, the invoice numbers from 1561 to 1566. And then different descriptions on what they're about, where the money was coming from, and what it added up to. This is a sales journal. This is what a bookkeeper would have on on their journal they're writing down or on their computer screen if they're doing it on a computer. So let's break it down. Let's take an invoice, a imaginary invoice, and we don't use David as the guinea pig here. And David has a gift shop, and David's gift shop sells a lot of candles. That's one of the things he does, and so he gets ready to have a deal. And indeed, Jennifer is David's sales clerk. Thank you both for volunteering for these jobs. I appreciate it very much. So here we go, David and Jennifer. David decided this year to buy a lot of candles and have a great big sale and do a bunch of selling, and he's really excited about it. So he's got his book set up to track how much money he's going to make on his candles. That's important. As you set up a profit center, I want you to go ahead and set up a track through your bookkeeping to determine if this is bringing in the income that you needed to bring in. Because the bookkeeping system is going to tell you if indeed you're getting the volume you need, and it's showing you that that volume is creating a certain amount of cash flow for you. So let's use this as an example. So Jennifer does the invoice 12-12-16. That's the number of the invoice. Now, indeed, that might be that she wrote that invoice on December 12, 2016. So you can use your invoice numbers to give you more information than just a number, but they do need to be kept in numerical order to go along with the date. David paid Jennifer sold this box of candles for $8.56. That was the invoice total. Now we're going to break it down. David has asked the bookkeeper to break down these invoices in such ways that he can tell how the money's coming in on this particular profit center to determine how it's doing for him. So here we go. So we took 56 cents away right away because that's tax money. That was the 7% tax. And we always do this in bookkeeping. The tax money is set aside. It's earmarked because that's not our money. You know, we collected it, but it's not our money, and it's got to go out, and it's got to be accounted for. So the bookkeepers learn right away to give that special attention and just get it out of the way in a special pigeonholed position. So what's left? $8. David knows that the stocking cost of that was $2. So $2 went to the cost of the inventory, his invoice cost. He paid 55 cents for the incoming freight. So the bookkeeper's going to keep up with that. David has got something going on here, and he pays a 10% commission to Jennifer as a sales clerk for her sales. So Jennifer gets to set aside there for 80 cents. Now, notice that it's for 80 cents and not for 85.6 cents, because you don't pay commissions on taxes. Got to remember that. Some companies wouldn't pay commission on freight, but David decided to do that. So there's 80 cents going to Jennifer. Also, because he set aside a certain amount of money to advertise a special advertised targeted campaign for these candles at 6.5%. So he's going to keep that with 52 cents as a return on his investment for the candle promotion. Pretty cool, huh? And if you do this, you'll be able to tell as your sales go along, is this advertising paying for itself or not? And that's a good thing to know, or how much your advertising cost might have been and how much your return on investment. We have to remember that if you want a return on investment for marketing and advertising expenses, you've got to make an investment. It just doesn't happen otherwise. But if you are making the investment, remember that, and the rule of the 27 times rule, remember those? If you are making those investments, let's see if you're getting a return on them, and the bookkeeper can tell you how that's working out. So the cost of the sale of that box of candles was $4.27, $4.27. That means it costs 53% of the total to sell that. Well, that sounds pretty good. That leaves 47%, right? 47% profit? No, let's call it margin. 47% margin on that box of candles. Made $3.73. So the margin looks pretty good, percentage-wise. But the income from that box of candles, what's left over, is $3.73. So David is able to see right now that he's getting $3.73 per box. And if he wanted to make $1,000 on selling candles, he got to sell a lot of boxes of candles, right? Because if he sells 100 boxes of candles, he's going to make $300, $373 exactly. There's no other way that David will know what his volume totals will be unless he is in cahoots with the bookkeeper to give him this information. And this is not a big test or a big requirement for a bookkeeper to do, either by hand or with computer software, with different softwares, because David can say to the bookkeeper or to the person that helps set up his software, I want this breakdown on this particular profit center. You follow me? And he can do that with all of them. So at the end of the month, he'll know what's making money, how much it's making, how many customers he sold candles to, and such as that. And when you have that type of information, man, you have got wisdom. You've got something to base your forecasting on. You've got something to base your negotiating on when you go out and buy the next truckload of candles. You've got something to go on when you say to the candle supplier, now look, I need X number of boxes to come in here on a certain date. And on another date, I need the next number of shipment to come in, because you don't want to tie up all your money in candles to sit there for 6 or 8 months or a year. You want them to come in when the cash flow is working. That's forecasting. And just playing it by the seat of your pants is dangerous. You know, the truth of the matter is, until you get some experience behind you and some history, it'll be really hard to do this forecasting to the nth degree. But let me tell you, it's time to get started right now. Because the sooner you get started, the better your forecasting will be as you go along. So that was the 8 steps. The bookkeeper listed each one of those down as each one of the items that we talked about, listed them in the journals, posted them, wrote it down, added up what went back and forth. And we found out that Jennifer, instead of collecting 56 cents on that box of candles, collected 46 cents. So there was a 10-cent error, because you have to pay the correct amount of taxes whether you collected the correct amount of taxes or not. So the bookkeeper would have to say, I need to make an adjustment here, a 10-cent adjustment. So she would adjust that number and then go forward in the adjusting journal entries, and then go forward to the financial statement where everything worked out right. But that 10 cent is going to show as an adjustment. Now, the adjusting journal entries for bookkeepers are kind of their get-out-of-jail-free card, because when something gets upside down in a small business or a church or anywhere, we hear the big word embezzlement come up. And when bookkeepers are embezzling, that means they're cooking these books. They're making these entries in such ways that aren't real. But the first place that an investigator, an auditor, will look into what's going on will be those adjusting journal entries. So bookkeepers that are keeping good records there and make everything just right, they've got a good chance of not being in trouble. But the adjusting journal entries is where the books are cooked oftentimes, and that'll get you in big trouble there. So need to mention that. As an owner of the business, if you want to carry this oversight to a good level, is when the bookkeeper gives you the day's work for that particular day or that particular week, you want to review that paperwork, not just take it and say, okay, thank you, and file it. Now, the numbers are going to be 0 up at the top that I'll get to in a minute. But you do want to take a minute to look at all and adjusting journal entries, because that's where you'll find the items that you need to talk about. You'll need to talk about, well, which one of my clerks is making so many mistakes? Why is this mistake being made? Why are these numbers not equaling out? That's what you want to focus on. And by golly, you really do want to focus on, because that's where you'll find the things that a good manager needs to make to correct issues while they're little, before they become to be major issues. So back to our chart. These issues will come around and the bookkeeper will say to the owner, Mr. Owner, we took in $1,600 today. In other words, our petty cash drawer has $1,600 more in it than it did when we started. So that's how much we took in. Here is your deposit slip at the bank for today's work, where we deposited $1,600. Therefore, we take that away from the income, and we got a zero at the top. We started with zero. We added in all this business information. We came all the way around, added it all up, and we took out the money we took in, and we ended up with a zero. When the bookkeeper has those two zeros up there, mission accomplished. Just that simple. Whether it's on one invoice or 100 invoices, whether it's on a day's work or a week's work or a month's work, it's all going to come back around to zeros, and everything has to balance. Showing the owner, showing proof. When the bookkeeper shows proof of what happened to the money, she's in the clear. There's a deposit slip here, there's sales slips here to equal it. She did her work. The money is safe. Everybody knows what happened. And it's the same side. It's the same thing on the bill paying side. The checks that go out, this amount of money went out of the checking account. This is where I transferred enough money in to cover that amount right to the penny to balance it out. Every day's work comes up to a zero. And let me tell you, no matter how large or how small your business is, this is probably foolproof. The owner can see it every day and see what's happening and ask the questions where it needs to happen. As simple as that, and that was a quick review. What's the point? The owner needs to understand that you can get the information from the bookkeeping system to help you forecast and know what you need to do with orders or what business needs to come in, or maybe you need to increase your margins on certain products that you're doing because you're losing money on them. And this system will tell you if you're losing money on that particular thing, instead of just telling you you're losing money in the whole business. That's a big whammy when someone says your whole business is losing money and not able to tell you, but where? As owners, we need to know, but where, correct? So that's where we're at. I really hope this helps you. It's helped me a lot through the years to stay with this basically simple system to do it. So, separation of duties. How do you protect yourself from fraud or someone stealing your money away from you, especially on the bookkeeping side? By separating the duties, that will really help you. By having the bookkeeper write checks for you, that's just fine. Sometimes it's necessary for you to have time. But how many people sign those checks? Whether you let the bookkeeper sign them or you require yourself to sign everything, or whether you let her go ahead and sign them, but you have to has a double signature before it's valid. That's important. Sometimes with extra large checks, if you're away from the office, you might require that the president and the vice president sign checks over a certain amount. Whatever system you feel comfortable with, who signs the check, how many signatures are required, can go a long way to helping you have security. Remember, you're not saying that somebody's crooked or dishonest, but it's really good from day one to have systems in place that help keep people honest. You see the different slant there? We don't have a good, honest, secure feeling, and nobody has to be looking over their shoulders because we got these security measures in place. Indeed, we are looking over shoulders because you know what? This is personal. It gets real personal when we start talking about separation of duties. And it's also business. So this is a place where you have to make the hard decisions to move forward. When a check comes in, you want a stamp that says for deposit only on it. Anytime a check comes into the business, like if you deposit every day or you deposit once a week, make your deposits, and I suggest you make your deposits as close to daily as you can. But to give you the protection of knowing that someone is not going to rob you or hit somebody in the head and steal some checks or come into your business, if the checks come in, they're stamped deposit only, that means they can't be cashed. Okay, therefore you're protecting your investment there. That's a good business practice to have, where that any clerk, whether it's the bookkeeper or not, but any clerk that takes a check in immediately stamps it for deposit only. Then you don't have to worry about someone taking it and cashing them. If that's a standard process in your business, then employees aren't going to be thinking about slipping one away and saying, you know, I need to cash this. I need some money now. Telling you right up front, employees never plan to steal money from you. They will always tell you they just wanted to borrow it for a few days until their ship came in. That's always the excuse through the years. Steve, I didn't really plan to steal that money from you. I planned to pay it back the next day or the next week or as soon as I got my paycheck, put it back in the drawer. But somehow or another, that just didn't ever happen. Okay? So you take the safeguards to discourage people from taking those checks. Whether it's a live camera or not, and you're the only one that needs to know, it's a good idea to have cameras around in your business over the cash drawer, watching customers come in and go away. Security systems are very inexpensive now compared to what they used to be, with cameras and monitors and the systems that record. But whether or not you've got live cameras or not, it's a good idea to have those cameras up. The employees don't have to know whether it's live or not. Just the fact that they're there really helps keep people honest, and really helps customers feel like they don't need to be shoplifting or stealing from you if that camera is present. Especially open your mail. Don't let your bookkeeper, your accountants, or other employees open your business mail for you. The owner of the business needs to open it, because that's where you will see and have opportunity to open up your bank statement and see if there's anything weird going on there. And I do want you to open those statements. You may be giving them to the bookkeeper to reconcile or analyze. But if you've opened it and you shuffled through it, and you can see if there's any odd signatures or things going on there, those other people will know that you are looking at it before they see it, and that will help encourage them to be honest, because they'll know you'll see things going on there. That's also where if someone is paying themselves instead of paying your bills, you'll see the past due notices or late charges that vendors are putting on your business, that you thought bills were being paid, but maybe your bookkeeper or your accountant's not paying the bills that you thought. Then that's where you'll see it. So you have to open your own mail to do that. Don't make an exception on this rule. It's really important that you do that. New software is wonderful now, because like we broke down that invoice earlier, you can tell your QuickBooks or whatever software you're using to give you charts each month when they print out, when your bookkeeper hits the button to print out your chart. You can get all types of graphs and information given to you on certain profit centers, how your sales are going, how your expenses are running up, how much of the pie is going to this or that. You can see how your budget's working out, because in your budget that you plan, remember, and on your business plan, you can see how much money you've allocated from the total or what percentage. And then when you look at your charts each month, you can tell if you're on plan or not. So this can really help you or not, and that's a real good thing about current software. Payroll. If your bookkeeper is doing your payroll, then here's a commitment that I need for you to make to yourself and to them. Number one, the bookkeeper is working for you, the owner of the business. The bookkeeper is not working for all the employees that she's writing checks for, okay? That's just a rule that needs to stay. Because if an employee has a problem with their check, they don't need to be arguing with the bookkeeper, with the payroll clerk. They need to be talking with you or to their manager. Don't put the bookkeeper in a position to have arguments on policy related to pay. They are following your instructions, and you need to protect them from petty bickering and complaining. If you have more than 2 employees, I'll guarantee you'll have a complainer. And the more employees you have, you'll have more complainers. And if you're not careful, this can get out of hand and indeed cost you some good employees sometimes, either on the employee side or the bookkeeper side. Don't put your bookkeeper, your payroll person, in a position to have arguments with or debate the checks. That needs to be with you or with your supervisor. Now, indeed, the two of you, or you may need to get information and have a one-on-one conversation with the payroll clerk, but it don't need to be a committee meeting. You need to keep that's just going to add to problems, because if there's something going on in there, you two will be the ones to work it out with you, with the bookkeeper, with the software people, or with the accountant. The employee don't need to be involved in that working it out, but you need to get a resolution and do it in a hurry. Okay. Forecasting and negotiating is like playing checkers or like playing chess. I love playing checkers and chess. Anytime any of you guys want to come down to Dunn, we'll break out a table and a glass of tea, and we'll have a good hour or two game. I just love it. Playing checkers and chess is so much like having a small business, because what it is we're thinking about the move I make today. How's that going to affect my business tomorrow? How's that going to affect my business in 3 weeks? It's all about planning ahead and trying to forecast what's going to be going on with the moves that I make. Remember that every action you take, there's a reaction. So from here on out, we're going to be talking about kind of like playing chess in your business. Forecasting, whether it's talking about the weather or other things, forecasting is always playing in. This is the time that a lot of people are taking cruises, and of course the weather forecast for a cruise is important. If you're a herdsman, you're interested in forecasting when you have your heifers and your bulls together, so you'll know when the babies are born and the grass is green and the weather's warm. You do a lot of forecasting for the weather and timing with that. A lot of different reasons to do forecasting, no doubt. If you're in the firefighting business and you want to watch your forecast, because most forest fires are started by lightning, so lightning strikes go a long way with the forecaster for forest fires. But if you're not forecasting in any way, then I can forecast that the sign that will be up in front of your business will be this one, going out of business. So what is the option? Learn to forecast, enhance that skill, or go out of business. It's just that simple. And the better you are, the better you become at forecasting, the better the chance is your business will make it for the long haul. No doubt about it. So what are the things that we're going to be forecasting? Basics. Turns. T-U-R-N-S. Turns. Short for turnovers. When you're selling products, the number of turnovers you have is basically saying how much profit are you going to make, because you don't make profit selling products until you turn them, until you sell them. So therefore, if you have too large or too small an inventory, that's going to determine what your turnovers are. And you want the right amount of inventory at the right time for your markets, for the right seasons. So you can see that we're going to forecast our seasonal sales, and at the same time, we're going to have to forecast what products we're going to order to have here at a certain date. History plays a big role in that. Right back to watching those bookkeeping records that'll tell us when we sold our this and when we sold that and such as that. And you'll know, starting your second year, how much inventory and product you probably need to have on the shelf at a certain date. That will help you determine when you need to place your orders. Placing your orders will have everything to do with you telling the supplier, okay, I need 1,000 of these items, and I want you to give me the very best price you can, because I'm getting 1,000. You're going to save 15 to 20%, or maybe even more, by placing an early order and placing a higher number. But give me that good price, but here's the deal. I want 100 of them in May. I want 400 of them in June. I want another 400 in July, and I want 100 over in September. So I want you to break these shipments up and not bill me until I'm being shipped. Okay? You see how that plays together? You're forecasting when you need them. You're forecasting how many you need, so you won't have an empty basket, and you don't get the best price because you're forecasting ahead. And you're negotiating and saving a lot of money by doing that. That's savvy business skills. The better you get at it, the more profits you're going to make and the more sales you're going to make, because you got the right amount of products in inventory at the right time, and you haven't tied up your money for months and months when it wasn't making money. During seasonal sales and as your business grows, indeed, you need to forecast your staffing issues. And indeed, in some businesses, there's no doubt, like with Veronica, you need to almost have your staff in place before you can bring in your customers. It's just that important. So I can't go out and do a lot of business with people until I got staff to serve them. So forecasting is huge, and you need to master it to get really good at your business and to figure out how to have a pool of service providers really before you start serious marketing efforts, because you don't want to market in such a way to promise services that you can't deliver. So it gets to be a big deal. Staffing, to further complicate things, need to be trained, need to be certified. You need to have background checks. It takes time to get the right staff in place. So there again, we're forecasting how much time it's going to take, and we move forward to making that work. Cash flow projections can be really important to do that. I need to ask y'all to give me a second for a break. My lawn crew, people that mow my grass, have just showed up outside. I need to go get them to be quiet or we won't be able to hear a thing. So y'all give me just a minute. Get you a glass of tea. I'll be right back. Always surprises. Forgive me, please. I just disappointed 6 fellows out in the yard. But that's what happens. All right. Cash flow predictions. You indeed need to be thinking about what's coming around the corner that you know need to cash flow. It gets back to what we've been saying about having reserve accounts. If you don't have some reserve accounts, you'll have some problems without any doubts. Risk management. Looking forward, these are things that you can forecast. If you're unsure what the risks are involved with your business, indeed, you want to start making a list. And you're guessing now, and I know that, but guessing is better than not trying. Good advice to you. Every independent insurance agency that serves small business that is working for customers with the business you have, their insurance company has a list of risk related to your business. It's already in place. So you would simply talk to your insurance person and say, my business coach said you probably can print me out a risk management program for my business, and especially with AI now, Uh, the independent agent has it, and I imagine AI can give it to you immediately as well. You want to get a printout of that and think about it. See which of these risks may be affecting your business and what do you need to do to protect yourself. It might be as simple as having good housekeeping in your business. It might be training. It might be having certain emergency supply stuff. It might be a list of do's and don'ts. In my business, for example, the insurance companies were really, really picky about my truck drivers, my pickup and delivery truck drivers. They said that was the highest risk in my business, about slipping on the beds, the tilt beds, and loading up stuff to do that. And so, David, that's a good tip for you, too. And, of course, you've already told me you talked with your insurance people. There's a lot of risk involved that maybe those folks can bring to your attention that we just wouldn't ever think about. So especially now with AI, you can probably get a good list of risks. So how would you do that? Chat GT or to any AI platform and simply say, I am starting a new business and I'm doing this, this, and that. Please give me a good list of risks and risk management that I need to be aware of. And I got a feeling in 2 seconds you're going to get a lot of reading to consider. Is that wasted time? It is not. Is that being prepared? It is. And that's part of forecasting. Like with negotiating, total preparation can save you a lot of headaches down the road. Think about the different categories. Risk management can come to you also free of charge just by asking someone that's been there and done that. This is where mentors like me and Bart and all the other small business centers, or someone that you know that's already in the business that you're getting ready to start, or that's been there, it's a good investment of time to give them a call and say, hey, can I come over and talk with you just a little bit and ask you some questions, get some advice from you. Folks are happy to help you. You know, you come at them in a good way with good listening skills. Folks will be glad to talk to you and share with you information. You may get more information than you want, and some of the advice you get, you may do to weigh that, and that's why I always say get a second and third opinion. But it's a good thing to talk to someone that's got the experience, especially in the region that you're working in, because these things, risks might change from town to town. Our marketing and strategy efforts need to be planned out. There's no doubt about that. So what is forecasting for? What is that basic goal? What is the point? To have the right product or service, the right quality, style, and quantity, and the right sizes, and to have it when the market is hot so you can get the highest retail price that you can. And you want to purchase it at the lowest possible price, which brings in negotiating. And with good risk management, that's kind of the perfect pie. That's the perfect way to go at it, and that's why we need the effort. Knowing all this, whether you're just getting started or not, it gives you the benefit of as if you've been in business for 60 years and understand that every action has a reaction, and why you want to take the time to give these things consideration. Moving now to negotiating. There's 21 tactics and ploys. And in your handouts and study guides, I'll go through all of them. We don't dive into all of them tonight, but I want you to be aware of them. Also down the road, I'll be doing some webinars and seminars on negotiating and forecasting, simply just focusing on those. And so you might want to try to attend those. A good study guide on body language, because it is really, really important to understand that nonverbal communications just go a long way, and especially body language when you're negotiating and talking with people. So spend some time with those study guides. We want to be able to close deals in a way that's a win-win situation. You want to be a winner in that you've met your goals and objectives, and you want your customer to feel like they were a winner because they met their goals and objectives. When you have that situation, it's a win-win situation, and no one feels like that you were dealing with the enemy or dealing with someone that was trying to take advantage of you, or someone that was trying to squeeze you for every penny they could get out of it. And all of us know we've been in the situations where someone was just squeezing us for every darn penny they could get out of us to the nth degree, and not worrying about a bit about whether it was coming across as a win-win. Now, I want to tell you that you owe it to yourself and to your company to get every profit dollar that you can out of a deal, provided it ends up being a win-win situation. So that's it's not personal, it's just business situation, because it is business for a win-win, and it gets to be real personal because you want it to come out to be very helpful for you as well. So negotiating is all about ending up in a good place and a happy place, no doubt there. How do you end up being there? It's total preparation. Once you have some experience under your belt and you go through it for a number of years, it will come naturally to you. But until you get there, I'm going to say it's going to take a lot of homework. You're a freshman on a professional team, and indeed it's up to you to learn the basics, to learn the skills. There's no substitute for it, but there is a substitute, and that is preparation. You can prepare yourself. You can give it the thought. And attending these classes, month after month, course after course, letting it sink in. Every time this time you hear this lesson, maybe one skill, you grab onto it, you hold onto it, and it becomes, and you own it. The next time you come to this class, you pick up another skill and you do it, and eventually you got your tool belt full and you're a professional, no doubt. So total preparation is going to get you there. I would guess that 90% of the money in sales is made by 10% of the salespeople, and those are the ones that are totally prepared and professional. Everyone else is splitting up the crumbs that are left, or they've gone out of business in a short period of time. That's a hard truth, but that's the fact. So preparation for your goals, for your pricing, for your terms and concessions, to simply say, before I go into a negotiation, and before you go into your next negotiation, I want you to have in your mind and on paper where you've made notes a good idea of what your specific goals are, what your pricing is, what the terms you can live with are, and what concessions you're ready to make. Have all that together, because all that is a part of negotiation. Someone will say, Steve, that's real easy for me. All I need to know is how much per hour I'm going to charge. Well, that's why you're called a freshman, because that is not total preparation. You've come up with one ingredient. Remember, we have to keep talking. We have to keep finding ground. We have to find those items other than a cheap price to get a deal. And that's professionalism. That's preparation. Little things like introductions, how you introduce yourself, get the negotiation started out in the right way. And it's huge. If you, how many times can we make a first impression? Just one. So we got to be ready to introduce ourselves. That's why these videos are so important to you. A smiling face and talking and hearing your voice. Well, before you ever meet this client, they have seen you and they know you through your videos. It's really important. They are so much at ease when they call you up and talk to you. I'm sure that many of you already, I'm sure that Veronica already, and maybe Jennifer for sure, when someone calls you up, they may be saying to you the same things that people have said to me for years now. Well, Steve, I feel like I know you. I've been watching your videos. Hey, I remember you saying this and that in the videos. Or I remember you had this scene, in a certain scene, that you were doing this and that. Now, look, I know I'm not a good-looking guy. I know that I might even keep the bugs out of somebody's kitchen. I'm so ugly from time to time. But still, it's me. And that's what the person calling is looking forward to doing, is talking with someone that's maybe a little bit uglier than they are, and it makes them feel good. Well, by golly, that's all right, okay? But it's just that whether I got a raspy voice or an old fellow with gray hair, they know what they're going to get. And folks kind of like that. What they don't like is not knowing what they're going to get. And videos can go a long, long way to help you in that with your introductions. Next, practice those introductions. And the best way to get into it is introducing yourself through the videos on your websites and at Facebook. And Mary is a pro. You want to see it done really well, you watch Mary and you watch Veronica. You see how they introduce themselves on their presentations. See it done. Okay, negotiating where you're standing or where you're seating. I'll give you a little tip. A lot of people say you look somebody right in the eye, face to face. Eye contact is important, and it is. But I want to tell you, when you're negotiating, I always like to stand beside someone. I like not to face them. I like not to have a face-off. I like to be able to say to someone, look, I'm on your side. We're on the same side here. We're after a win-win situation. Man, customers love that. They don't expect it. And if you're sincere with it, and you will be, let's work through this. Let's be negotiating partners to come up with a win-win situation. It just calms the water. The person that you're doing business with may be coming in with a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear. They're on new ground. They don't feel comfortable. And for someone to say, look, we're on the same side here. We're both after a win-win situation to solve this issue. Let that sink in a minute. I want you to own that. Sitting across the table from someone is like you're on opposite sides. Sitting at a table beside them or catty corner to them is like you're working together. Just that little concept can make a difference in getting the negotiating started out the right way. Okay, when you're coming into the deal, are you bringing a blank piece of paper? Nothing written on it, your pen ready to scratch out some notes? Well, maybe that's where you were headed, but I'm going to tell you that is not going to cut it. That is not professional. You want to come in with your presentation ready, looking like a work of art, typewritten, printed out, looking nice. It don't have to be fancy, but it needs to look professional. You want basically all the information that you know has to be covered already on paper and some blank lines where you're going to fill in what your negotiating points are, so that all that's required is an initial or a signature to seal the deal. Instead of you having to say, okay, this is great, I'll work out these details and I'll bring back the paperwork and we can discuss them at our next meeting. Heck with the next meeting. We want to do the deal now. And the way you can do your deals now and walk out with a deal is by doing your preparation ready to do the deal instead of walking into this situation planning on having to come back. 90% of you getting the deal is for you to convince the customer as you're doing these introductions and presentations that you're confident. You feel good about serving them in a win-win situation, and you feel so good you just know that we're going to go through this talking to work out the fine points and have a deal. And tomorrow everybody's going to be happy. When you set that stage, it's got a chance to work out. It's up to you to set that stage, because if you don't, I want to guarantee you it's not going to work out. And if one of your competitors slips in there that's better at this game than you are, better at this game than I am, they're going to take that customer away from you or create so much doubt you don't get the deal. So total preparation, having your stuff ready. Frequently asked questions. You're a pro now. You're working towards being a pro. It's up to you to already know what questions the customer is going to ask you. Yeah. And let me tell you, in business, they ask you different customers ask you the same questions every time. So go ahead and write those questions down and go ahead and have a really good answer ready. That's a cool thing to do. It shows confidence on your part and something you can hand to them, and they say, wow, you really know this game, you know this business. So frequently asked questions go a long way. And when you're training employees, if you've got these frequently asked questions, then you can teach them this, and you can teach them to give people the answers that you want them to give them. instead of, I don't know, I'll have to go talk to somebody. Follow me? So you're setting the stage for them to be more productive for you too. Now your bargaining range, you know you've got a range of prices. And I want you to know that you need to have a range of prices, not just take it or leave it. Remember? Options, different things that we can talk about, different prices that you can get. The customer wants to feel like they have built this price in a win-win situation with you. You've done it together for it to work. So you'll have prepared in advance a roadmap on paper for you, not for them, but you will have done your homework about the ranges you can work with, because if they offer you this, you need to know what you can counter with to stay in the range. You follow me? And usually, depending on whether you're buying services or selling products, there's a certain number of give and take offers and counter offers that you'll need to prepare for. So give that some thought. Be ready to go with it. You have secret weapons. You maybe didn't know it, but I'm telling you right now, Papa Steve is saying that you have secret weapons. And your secret weapons are how smart you are and the savvy you have related to your business and the little things that you can build into your service proposal or your products proposal that you can say, hey, and I can also do this for you. And by the way, I can do this. Or, you know, we do the deal today, I can do this. And you think about it in advance. You actually write them down so you can refer to them if you need to as you're closing your deal. These little closing factors are your secret weapons, because I'm going to teach you next week about having to get their attention and pull these out of the sack, close the deal right now. These are not things that you automatically lay out there. They're negotiating and bargaining nuggets to help you close the deal. And you'll have them if you plan to have them, if you plan to hold them back in reserve and have them ready to deal, because sometimes it needs just a little bit of, what we say, assertive. Remember, assertive people motivate other people, and salesmen are assertive with their secret weapons to help motivate closing a sale. The secret weapons. It might be, look here, I can work with as little as $100 deposit to go ahead and close this. Or if we can do this right now, I'll offer you free delivery. Or there'll be no charge for this little extra I can add in. Okay, you know what you can and can't do. And sometimes it's the smallest thing makes a world of difference. It's the smallest thing, but you need to have those secret weapons listed down so you can use them when you want to. In negotiating, sometimes people just keep on talking. They talk themselves into a deal and out of a deal. They don't know when to hush. They like to hear their voice so much they just keep on talking. Now, forgive me if I'm coming across that way, but I'm getting paid to talk tonight, and I'm going to stop here in about 11 minutes. So you need to know at the starting time or stopping time. But when you're negotiating, when you're trying to close, we will learn to see the buying signals. I'm ready to buy. The customer sends you signals that says, hey, let's stop talking and let's close this deal. And a lot of new salespeople, new business people just don't know that. That tonight and next week and later on, you're going to know it because it's important. Because there is a time that you stop selling and start closing. It's a definite time. And when you sense that time has come, and you'll sense it, I'll teach you some good things next week about doing that. When you sense that time has arrived, you want to pull out your most powerful secret weapon of all. And that is your knowledge of how to capture that moment. Your knowledge of how to use gestures and look people in the eye, take your glasses off and lower your voice, look them right in the eye. It's important that you know to do that, because that moment in the customer's eyes, you become the professional person I want to do business with because you know how to handle yourself. They recognize that. simply because you are capturing the moment and you are in control with confidence. You do that by lowering your voice, using certain gestures. You start shaking your head yes like this, and you just nail it down that, hey, this is a very serious time, and it's a serious time we close this deal. You don't have to say it, but the way you present your products and movements and be in control. Kind of like an actor on the stage, it's drama, and it is wonderful. It is so darn powerful. You just will be so proud of yourself at the end of the day. You'll get back in the car, you'll be headed home, and you'll pull over on the side of the street and just bang the steering wheel and laugh. You'll just be so proud of yourself that you've mastered this skill to close a deal because of something old Steve-O shared with you. It's incredible. I still enjoy it. I still find great pleasure in knowing that me and you, or you and I, or how you're supposed to say it, can do something that so many people don't even have a clue how we did it. Okay? And it's using the drama, the ability to capture the moment to close the sale. I'll give you an example. Who was the greatest master at doing this? Old Billy Graham in his sermons. You ever watch any of old not the son, but the master Billy Graham, the evangelist? Man, he could talk, and he'd have his musicians doing the thing. And when it got time to close the deal, he had your attention right. He knew the right things to say, the right gestures, and the things to do. And indeed, he brought people to the Lord because he was a master salesperson. God bless him. We need more of those. And I see ministers doing that all the time. Of course, we see actors doing it on TV, but to see someone that's really good at it, it's just amazing. And you see some folks that are wannabes, some wannabes that try to charisma or bluster their way through things, and it's not the same. Because it don't work if they don't trust you. It doesn't work unless you're sincere. It doesn't work unless you're trying to be a person helping us find a win-win situation. When those factors in place, you can capture the moment and move into it and end up closing your deal. So think about how you're doing that. Now, Justin, I'll mention to you, and all of you now doing your videos, I want your video to end with you seeing something that's capturing the moment, that's leaving them with a, hey, I want to pick up the phone and do business with this person, okay? Because your videos can send that message as well. It really can. Remember when people have called me up, and I mentioned earlier that they said, I feel like I know you, Steve, because I saw you in the video. I think a lot of that is because I tried to be myself and be personal and give them a reason to give us a call. That's part of that introduction that we're going to be working. All this stuff is tied together around it. It's a circle that everything is connected and works together. So think about that. Make it work for you, and it can. In negotiating, you always want a plan B. Already know where you can get the deal you need, a product you want, and what you need to pay for it. And now it's time to start negotiating, because you take that information and you go out in the world and try to get a better deal. And you keep working and see what you can do. That's where you save your money. Maybe you can find something you can buy for $1,000, then you go out, you find the same thing, and you offer that person $750 or $600. You just be amazed. People put prices at different things depending on the circumstances they're working with. It may be the same item, but people bought it or have it at different values or need to sell it for one reason or another, and you won't get that extra good price unless you ask for a better deal. Things are never black and white in pricing, as we talked about earlier. Keep the conversation going. Remember, yes, if, no, but negotiating. It's in your handout, a good lesson on it. I've got a little book at Amazon. You can buy it or give it to someone else for a couple of dollars. But it's in your handout. You don't have to do it. But the message is, no, I can't do that deal. But if we do this, this, or this, I can. Or, yes, I'll take you up on that offer if we can make this, this, or this change. Is keep the conversation going with the customer. Don't give up on it. Keep it going, because the devil's or the deal's going to be in the details to do it. Rushing now. Don't give up anything unless you're getting something in return when you're negotiating. It's a balancing act. Always try to get them to give you the first real offer. That's why you need to start out at a higher price. Nothing starts until an offer is being made. Keep talking. Don't stop talking. Whatever the deals are, keep talking. Don't ever say take it or leave it. You keep finding common ground. Lots of ploys that are in your handouts. You need to read through them and see what they are. Go through them. We'll do some of these again next week that we'll talk about. But the main ones are burst your bubble. That's when someone says, hey, I'm going to make you a low offer. Will you consider it? The answer is yes. Yes. Always say yes, I'll welcome your offer and give it the consideration. Flinching means I don't make a sign or a physical motion that sends a message, I don't like this offer. Sometimes that's all you have to do to get a better offer. Just don't say anything when someone makes you an offer. Just look at them like you're crazy as H. Hey, are you, what? Just look. Take your glasses off and look at them. Don't say anything, and the inexperienced negotiator will say, well, look, I can do a little bit better. I mean, people will give you discounts before you ask for them. Okay, this is a world with inflationary times when there's always price increases that you can use as a negotiating tool. The red herring is to get their eye off the ball, to point out something that's really good about your product so they don't notice something that's not so good. Retreating to higher authority is when you say, well, I just can't make this deal now until I go home and talk to my wife. There's always somebody that's ready to use that on you, and you want to be prepared for it. Let's split the difference. That is, find common ground. When someone says, let's split the difference, they have decided to buy this thing. Now they're looking for a way to negotiate. Showing me the cash is a good negotiating tool. Be ready to pay up. Be ready to write a check. Be ready to write the cash, but do not say, I'll make this deal and pay you right now X amount of money, which has got to be a lot lower offer than where you're at. Make them give you a good concession if they take you up on that cash deal. And be ready to come through if they do. Nibbling is when you think you have a deal, you've agreed at a price, and then people want more and more and more little things, tidbits, thrown in the deal for no extra charge. The way you fight that is, once you come up to an agreement with a customer, you write the number down, you circle it and say, okay, here's the number we've agreed on, let's both initial it here. And then if they start nibbling on you, then you're able to come back and say, okay, now this is the price that we talked about. And yes, if or no, but I can do this provided you ante up some more money. So you can stop the nibbling from going on. But the other side of the story is, as a buyer, I want you always doing all the nibbling you can, because that's where you can really pick up 5 to 10% of extra value at no extra charge if you're thinking about that. If you're going into a negotiation on the buying side, and go ahead and plan and ask for, and as you're negotiating and talking, set up things that maybe you can nibble on in the future and get them for free. So look at your handouts, good information in there. What are the buying signals? It's when they start assuming ownership, giving you statements, talking about delivery, little details that is showing you that they're planning on buying this. I'll talk about delivery, and maybe they're disappointed in the delivery time. That means that they're ready to close the deal, and it's time for you to capture the moment. You've already made the sale, but now you need to close the deal. Many brand new salespeople don't understand. Sometimes they have made the sale but never closed the deal. Once that deal's closed, you close it up in a hurry. You get your signatures, you get your deposits, you say thank you, you let them know how happy you were that you got to do business with them, and here's the key remembrance. Congratulate them on being a great negotiator. Make them know that they really did a good job on you, they got the best deal, you're happy, and you know they're happy, and you hope they'll do business with you in the future, so maybe you'll get a chance to make a little more profit next time. What did I just say? Make sure they know you're happy, that they are happy, and maybe you can do another deal in the future, or they'll give you a lead where you can do some more business and make a little money because you didn't make much money here, okay? You're setting the stage for them to give you more information. You see how that works? And when you do that, that's fine. But once your conversation is done there, then what you want to do is to shut up and leave. Get out of there. Buyer's remorse is a real thing. And if you're hanging around chit-chatting, or some other parties are in the room talking about this, or you should have done that, or you could have done this or that, and whatever, deals can get upside down in a hurry. So close your deal out, leave there, go out and get in the car, celebrate, and get on out of there. Okay? Congratulations. You've learned a lot right now if you'll apply this. How do I want to leave this lesson? I've had the absolute wonderful blessing and opportunity to meet a lot of good negotiators through the years. And Mr. Ball here is representing this, is not really his picture, but there is a real person whose name was Mr. Ball, lived in Sampson County, a wonderful farmer. This is from the 30s through the 80s. Had a huge amount of acres and bought a lot of tractors from Carver Equipment Company, from my daddy first and then some from me. Mr. Ball had a super reputation in the whole region. When he talked, you listened. There was no minced words. When he came to negotiate, you knew it. He always had his check or his cash book or ready to make a down payment when he came. He was ready. He was a negotiator who negotiated in the best of faith. If he said he was going to do something, you could bank on it. And whatever he asked of you, he expected you to deliver. So, what would I hope each one of you would leave this lesson thinking about? One, I want you to remember the little things, but you can go back and study those. But the biggest thing is, as a business person in your business, one of your greatest assets will be known as you are a great negotiator that can be trusted, and I enjoy doing business with you. That enjoyment is a key factor. It's the key factor in one, them keep doing business with you, but a major key factor is people who enjoy doing business with you will tell other people. They will become raving fan customers. Whether you close the deal or not, but going through and negotiating and trying to, maybe someone else just had a better deal, but your customer wants to remember, I didn't do that particular deal with them, but I plan to go back because if they've got something I'm trying to buy, then I want to do business with them. The people you buy from now, the people you do business with, the people you pay, you want them to think of you as a great negotiator. You want to do the same things to them that I've described with Mr. Ball. Be dependable, pay like you're supposed to, ask for discounts, ask for the very best deal. If you're not asking another business person for a good deal, they're going to understand that maybe you're not as good a business person as you need to be. We have to let our vendors and suppliers know that we're planning on staying in business. And we are going to ask them to give us most favored pricing in situations because we want to stay with them. That message needs to go across as your personality and your determination to stay in business for a long time. So with that, let me say, next week, on Monday, we're going to be talking about big risk and big decisions. Then next Thursday, we're going to be talking about taxes. Then the following Thursday, we're going to have the face-to-face in Clinton. I hope that you'll be able to come. So now I say good night. Let your light shine. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I've given you a lot of personal experience here that I hope you can absorb and put to work, and that it works for you to make your business be less stressful and more profitable. So God bless you and your family and your business. Thank you so much. I'd appreciate any comments. All right, no comments. That's interesting. So all of you that are new, David, I'm glad to have you and Paula tonight. Thank you all for coming. And Janet, good to have you back with us. Christy, I hope your week goes well. Justin, Veronica, and Sonia, I see that you're around. So good to have all of you with us. Y'all take care, and like to say on the Waltons, good night, John Boy.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
And good night. Y'all take care. Y'all take care. Hope you have a great weekend.